This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
You mentioned earlier that they came up with the idea to put Bobby the Brain Heenan with you, which helped you kind of figure out your tag team name. Do you know who they was? Was it a Vince idea? Was it do you remember who said, hey, we're going to pair you guys with, because you had talked to Vince around the pool originally.
Yep. That was his decision to be made. Bruce Pritchard had a lot of stroke at that time on creative, and Pat Patterson obviously had a lot of stroke. I don't know, coming up with names, I don't know who would have been responsible. They didn't ask us. They just said, you're with Bobby and you're going to be called the Brainbusters.
Gotcha.
And when they were that definitive, I said, yes, I am. Good.
You got it. That's
Works
right.
for me.
Yep. Keep signing those paychecks. Now, was Vince or anyone else aware of the reputation you and Telly had as talkers? So when you're having conversations, signing contracts, does that come up at all? Like, hey, we've seen what you guys can do promo-wise. Is that ever discussed?
Well, no. I'm sure Jack Lanza, who I created a relationship with right away, I'm sure would have told me. The thing is, you had to be very careful that walking in the door at that time, that they just didn't start shoving you to the moon, because it would have buried you with the other guys. And in those days, promos were very, very short. And that everybody's pretty much was, because you had to leave room for the Hogan promos that took forever, and the Ultimate Warriors that took forever, and the Savages. So farther down the food chain, which we were, you had less time. And Bobby, if he didn't talk, he didn't get heat. So he needed to do some talking. And it was more important that we gelled with him doing the talking, even though I was dying to do about a 2.5 minute promo. And let the world know why we were there and what our intentions were. Man, I was chomping at the bit. But that's playing the game. I don't know that I ever, the 14 months I was there, had more than 30 seconds of a promo.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, is you can see the difference immediately of a Crockett promo versus the WWF, where, like you said, 30 to 45 seconds and an inset while you're wrestling in the screen in the top left versus getting behind the booth for, a good 3 minutes and letting it rip.
Paul, give us three minutes for Tully and I to do our thing. Let us walk in the door. We made the mistake of walking in the door. I want to say it was the second week of TV. And these went up. And the crowd came out of their seats, and they went, wah. They all had the four fingers up in the air, and when we came back through the curtain, they were waiting on us.
Oh,
hey, guys.
No more.
That shit is over. If we would have been able to do that, call us the Horsemen, put us with Bobby, would have been just fine, and let us talk, they would have had main event players added to their list that day.
Immediately.
We didn't need to go start over and get over. We were already over.
And I'm glad you said that, because I was wondering, did you feel that the reaction was good, and you said it, you guys were over, so there you go. Okay, so here we go. No music, nylon jackets, plain boots, plain trunks. You've said previously Vince promised to not change your presentation, keeping you entirely realistic. Was this all agreed about around the pool, or is this after WWF knew you were coming in?
I don't think we discussed presentation. That would have been over the phone a couple times, and it wouldn't have been with Vince. It would have been with Bruce or somebody else. All we asked was just, don't make clowns out of us. Don't change up our, because he was notorious. And us saying to him, all we ask is, Vince, we're not a cartoon. We're going to lend credibility to your company. We're going to go out there every night, give you something that you cannot see through. And I know entertainment is a huge part of your business and your company, but just let us be us, and we'll go get over. That's all we need. Just don't make a cartoon out of us. That would have normally been a something that right away he would have sent us through the curtain and made a fool out of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we asked
absolutely.
him. We asked him, don't.
So the one thing that yeah.
The roast to Ric Flair? You kidding me? It's the Nature Boy. What are they gonna say? I am, the man. Okay? I am the king of trash talking. You say what you want to say. Just remember, at the end of the night, when all is said and done, I get to talk about you. Woo! The roast to Ric Flair. Starcast. Woo! Look at his old ass. Woo!
Well, and he never did. I go
Yeah.
back, I mean, Brainbusters, that's not a cartoon name. It was with Bobby, which was Bobby
Made
was.
sense.
Well, then once they started the Weasel stuff, you were pretty much set for crowd
You were set.
reaction.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And,
Perfect pairing with him, absolutely.
Oh yeah, so that's one thing I could say because they could dress you up in some goofy costumes and put a dinosaur around
Make you a
your neck,
rooster.
make you a rooster, and there's a guy Terry Taylor who could really work, could really perform. And he's out there clucking like a chicken, which it was just a rib on Terry.
Right. You didn't get polka dots, so you guys lucked out, man. You really did when you look back at it. They were true to you, so there's a lot to be thankful for that because you're absolutely right. You guys could have ended up with anything.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, when you leave the one place, when there's two places, and you leave that one and go to the next one, you're pretty much at their mercy.
You got it. And you mentioned before the one thing that you weren't supposed to do. You just shared with us. It was the four fingers. Don't
Totally
throw
not.
those up in the air.
Yeah, and hey, I think it was the second TV, and it could have even been that same. I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't the same night, but it would have been at the next TV taping, I want to say. And man, God Almighty, because by then they had one television show that they saw us on. Word was probably spreading through. Just pick up the phone and go, God Almighty, did you watch WWF TV? Guess who was on there? That's how it spread back then. That and just word of mouth.
Yeah. The other thing I noticed in the match is you do the Spinebuster. Tully then does the slingshot suplex. Eventually, you guys would change it up to that spike pile driver, which would come later. So talk about the decision there, starting with kind of that as the move set to close the match versus what you transitioned to eventually. Who kind of changed that, or did you guys come up with that on your own?
We did. We came up with that because we knew we could pull it off safely with everybody. And we wanted to be, we didn't dress exactly alike every night. Same color scheme. He might have on red, I might have on black, I might have on white, he might have on red and white, whatever. But we wanted to look like a team in every way, and having a teamwork finish back in the day, in that time period, is what teams did. So that's the reason we came up with, other than two separate moves, the Spinebuster or the pile driver, spike pile driver.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We all remember that move for sure. Final question before we move on to kind of going through the rest of the month, and that is, I'm sure you come in, lots of familiar faces in WWF when you guys make your debut. You shared the story with the Rougeaus and the Bulldogs, which is insane. But what else was kind of that first day like? Did you encounter the boss? What was the mood like outside of the fight that you guys saw? Did you run into former colleagues? Anything you can share with us what it was like when you first started getting to travel with WWF again?
Well, what's funny is, Barry Darso was a really good friend of mine, part of Demolition. And, we were really good friends. And so we knew we were going to be working with them. So that was a great opportunity for us to catch up and all those things. Funny, that night, because we wanted to, get to know the boys, let the boys know that that we're good guys. after Tommy got his teeth knocked out and all that stuff settled down, and they sent everybody involved back to the hotel, hey, you guys get out of here, you're done for the night, whatever. Tully and I go in to have a couple drinks in the day. That's how you met the boys that you didn't know and create, a relationship, get off the get-go, and guys drank back then. We walk in, and there they are. There's the Bulldogs over there. And I went over and ordered some kamikazes. Took one to him, one to Davy Boy, one to Tully, one to me. Shot him down. Well, it had split Tommy's lip and inside on his gum, I think, or something, the punch. Whether there was an international object involved, I do not know. But anyway, he had a split mouth, and when he drank that kamikaze, it started burning.
Oh, my God.
Which I started laughing, and then he started laughing. And so only one thing to do then, we probably had 3 or 4 more apiece, 6 or 8 beers, and we made a friendship right there with those guys. Although it would be temporary because they weren't going to be there much longer.
No, they weren't. Well, there you go. I'm already making friends, Arn and Tully, in the Federation.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.